Welcome into the Game Plan, presented by the Salisbury University Seagulls in support of alumnus Dan Quinn.
Welcome into the Game Plan with head coach Dan Quinn, Logan Paulsen. I'm your host, Bryan Colbert Jr., and we are here in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Coach, one more game left on the season, and it's against the Philadelphia Eagles, who we just faced a couple games ago. Does that change the game plan a little bit, having so much familiarity with this
team? It definitely does. Not every division game is played alike. Different flavor, different way. They'll have some new wrinkles. We will as well. But man, I do love the NFL's format for this year, for our division, of lining this up at the end. And it's not going to be what we want to play for. But man, it's impactful, to have division games on the road, and so we're ready to go fight.
Obviously, huge emotional game going to Philly. Obviously, there was a lot of emotion tied up in last week. How do you keep the guys locked in on task in this last game of the season? Yeah,
I think that's one of the best parts about the group here, Logan. Like this connected, tight group, and I hope, looking back when you watch the film, say, man, I was part of a tight group, and this firsthand. There's no brotherhood like a football team, and how hard you want to play, the things you want to get accomplished together, and so we're looking forward to doing that. Like we like the fight, how hard we're playing. We want to make sure the fundamentals, the execution, they're matching those, and that's important for us. That feeling of a winning locker room, man, it's awesome, and so we want to work really hard for these guys to have that opportunity to do that.
And Coach, Christmas Day didn't go our way. However, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt made his name known around the world. We were on Netflix. Everybody was watching not one, but 2 rushing touchdowns for a 7th-round draft pick. What has it been like watching his development throughout the year?
I think, one, we have a lot of belief in him. It was from the time we selected him, and it just kept growing stronger. The more he's proven, he's improved pass protection in his game. Okay, it's 2nd and 1. Can I get the first down? This isn't the time to bounce out and go. So, the improvement, the growth, Bryan, I think that's what jumps out to me with him. He'd always made plays. There it is. But to see his consistency grow stronger and stronger, that as a coach, man, that lights you up.
And obviously there's probably a great support system for him here, but how much ownership did he take in kind of helping himself make some of those improvements?
Yeah, the most.
No,
and the fact that he was thankful that some of these things happened so he can know this, I need to work this, I need to work this. What a remarkable attitude to have. I'm glad that exposed that problem. I'm working on that. And so for a rookie to have that kind of mindset to say, no, I am going to show that consistency and prove it. And I really do love that about Bill. He is all about proving it over and over. He's hungry as a competitor. And you feel it at practice, you feel it in the games. And so, man, I love that dude.
That's
Somebody
awesome.
that we've seen be hungry every single game, no matter who his quarterback is Deebo Samuel. We're looking at his numbers, over 700 yards with 3 different quarterbacks. He's having a season, but you never know what you're getting from a guy when you trade for him. Did you get what you expected from Deebo Samuel this season?
The competitor is what I thought, and then some. And he's had a lot of fun plays, but I remember on the sideline, I had butted him after that first screen. I was like, man, you've had a lot of fun plays, but that right there, that was my favorite play of the whole season. Because the player that he hit was an absolute dog competitor. Not oh, that could happen.
You know him really well.
Yes, I do. And he's one of my favorite players, in terms of toughness and attitude. So to see these 2 guys go battle for it, the catch and run plays I knew were there, the crossing routes that he could deliver, but his hunger as it gets closer to the goal line or to a first down, that doesn't show up on a stat sheet. It shows up on the film.
Yeah, and again, the role seems to be kind of I guess what a lot of people expected earlier in the year. How has Terry's return helped him kind of actualize what he can be in the offense?
Yeah, quite a bit. And where he's aligned, how we feature him into that space where for a while, we put him into different locations, where it might be the progression of where the read is, but having that open up, that's made a big difference, Logan, for sure.
That's cool.
And Coach, when you look at Philly's defense, very, very stout, very good defense. How do you game plan for our offense? How do you get them prepared for a defense like this and maybe give them some problems?
Yeah, I think number one, they play really sound. And and sometimes when you play a team that is sound, man, you can't be disappointed with the the 5-yard run or the 8-yard check down because you're able to sustain a drive. Sometimes you can chase a play because you feel like I need this explosive play. But they've played really sound. They've done a great job going after the ball, the punch and the physicality for it. So we'll have to make sure as an offense, take what is there, all right, to be able to sustain drives. And if we do that, we've got enough playmakers as you get into these critical situations that they can go do their thing.
I guess this is kind of maybe a silly question, but what's the thing you think is that they do best, or the thing you admire most about that group?
Yep, I would say on both sides of the ball, they're red zone.
Oh,
offensively, they're scoring of it. Defensively, the way they can really tighten up as it gets close inside. So the red zone scoring. If you want to play, good defense or be a scoring offense, like you can't settle for field goals, and you got to limit people to field goals in that spot. So I think the closer they get, that's part of what makes them a really good offense and a really good defense too.
And Coach, we talked a lot about what these final stretch of games means for the young guys, getting to see them, their development, and that's shown in real time on Christmas Day with Johnny Newman. 3 sacks, I think first time that's happened since, 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
It's been a really long time, and we
I was
understand.
on the team.
Yeah. He was on the team.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It wasn't me.
It wasn't him. Well, you look at his first year, injuries, kind of takes a hard time to develop. Now you get year 2, you're getting to see him develop more. What have you seen from his development?
I think it's the disruptiveness. Like he can beat you to the punch. So when he penetrates, when he stunts, when he moves, that's when I see him at his best. He had a play in the game, like running behind the line of scrimmage, down the line to go make a tackle. So for a big guy, man, he's got quickness and burst and finish, and that's what makes him unique. And so the more you play, the game starts to slow down. You know when you can take a shot, when you can go make a play, and that's what we're seeing happen with Johnny.
And another guy that I think is kind of, playing really well, good ball, is Kinlaw. Like, how have they worked together, maybe helped each other out in terms of developing? Like, do they have a relationship that is helpful there?
And so between Duran and JK and Johnny, the 3 of them, they're not built the same. They have,
very different. Like
compliments, to how to work off one another. Like JK's so long, and in that way he's powerful. Johnny can beat you to the punch with his quickness, and Duran, like he is as stout as they come, like at the line of scrimmage. And so I like that they're not all exactly the same, and they bring different things. And I'll look forward to seeing them all on the field, some together in some packages in tonight's game too.
And Coach, a guy like Jalen Hurts, super dynamic and do so many things well. How can you guys make his life a little more difficult? And how do you game plan against a guy that is so dynamic, that does so many things right?
Yeah, because you see the downfield throws that are really accurate. And so you want to have some disguises for that, Bryan, so it's not, so clear by the time he gets the ball where he would like to deliver it. And then the second part, pass rush and game planning and how to go do that so he can't have the second play, get started, because he has probably over 100 scrambles, not all across the line of scrimmage, but ones that get extended. And so that'll be a big piece, to have the disguise, not allow him, what it is before the snap, and then have a specific rush plan where we can stay square and in front of them and make them, play from inside the pocket, which is difficult to do for a guy that has such good success outside the pocket too.
You talk about like maybe why it's so important to keep him, again, like everyone talks about extending the play. Why is it so important to keep him in there and keep the defense on schedule?
Yeah, it's hard enough to defend them with one play.
Sure,
and so the second play begins A.J. Brown and Devontae, where they can now extend. And so you don't want that to happen, especially if you're matching somebody, 3 seconds, now it goes to 5 seconds on a play where I'm matching all the way down the field. So you want to make sure, hey, let's, compress it as much as we can, stay on top of these receivers that can make these big explosive plays. And then, oh, by the way, they have somebody pretty unique at running back. And so like the tackling, the physicality. So, the guys are ready for the challenge, but they definitely provide, some unique challenges for a defense: speed, playmaking outside, the running back, the quarterback, who's a dual threat. So those are a few of the things that are part of the game plan for sure.
And Coach, you mentioned him, so let's talk about him. Saquon Barkley, you called him unique. What makes a guy like him unique, and how can he impact the game?
It's vision, and he can see the gap opened over there, even though the run's going to this side. So the cut back all the way into the backside B gap, the ability to bounce out and get to the edge. He's got a lethal spin move, where you think you have him lined up and he can, change direction to go. But balance, he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. So I think those are a few of the things. But vision to me is number one. Even though he's a bigger back, it's the vision to make you miss that makes him so difficult.
So you talk about making somebody miss, and to me that comes back to like one of your core tenets in tackling, and like how important is it just to make sure you get hats on the football carrier in a game like this?
Yeah, you can't expect the person over there is going to make it, the second, the third, the fourth guy in with tracking and the right leverage to go, because that will be a really important part of this as well.
And Coach, we appreciate your time always. Thank you for joining us on the couch. But it's time for you and Logan to get into some film study real quick. Coach, appreciate your time.
No doubt.
Always great getting to sit down with Coach. Now, while him and Logan get ready for film study, let's get into our Prime Player, brought to you by DC Prime, Loudoun's premier steakhouse. For dinner reservations or private dining, call 703-840-2099. And this week's Prime Player is defensive tackle Johnny Newton. In our Week 17 NFC matchup versus the Cowboys, our Year 2 guy led the defense with 9 total tackles, 3 sacks, 5 QB hits, and 2 tackles for losses. Now, despite the loss, Newton was dominant. He was the first player with 3 sacks in a game since Preston Smith all the way back in 2015. Can you believe it? Now, we do got to go to break, but coming up, Logan and Coach will be back to break down some Commanders highlights in film study. And later on, Coach, Logan, and I will count down the kickoff. We'll be right back after this break.
The Game Plan is presented by the Salisbury University Seagulls in support of alumnus Dan Quinn. And by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today. Please play responsibly.
Welcome back into the Game Plan with head coach Dan Quinn, presented by Salisbury University. It's time for film study, sponsored by Salisbury University Seagulls in support of alumnus Dan Quinn. Take it away, fellas.
Thanks, Brian. All right, Coach. So some good stuff from like young players, building off stuff, great opportunities. And so like there's no bigger play, in my opinion, than this outside zone run here by Bill. And again, just great job here on the front side, getting a reach. I thought Connolly, man, did a great job in space. I think this is a great example of that, working up to the next level. Big reach here by Bates. And then Allegretti working up. It just shows like how this thing should look. Like this is textbook outside zone. Guys working their tails off for the runner.
Yeah, and really Bill has excelled on a lot of the inside zones and stuff. So to see the outside zone come alive, I don't know if there's anybody better in the league since a guy in 82 played here, but since that time, like just getting displacement and movement. And now you get to the next level, Logan. So you see Connolly handing off, getting up to the backer, Burks coming up to crack the safety. Now we've got action. And you're right, the center, Allegretti, getting to the next level. And then from that point on, man, you had a sense something special was about to happen once he got through to the second level.
When a back like this and a back with this explosion hits it, it's awesome. And I'm really glad you pointed this out, Coach. Like big runs happen when receivers work. And to see him working downfield, Burks is awesome, man. Like putting his hat on people, being physical. And again, like that is a physical safety right there. And he did not turn that down. It's awesome to see all these guys working. And again, Bill hitting the grass here is fantastic.
Yeah, I love, like I said, seeing the versatility of different styles around outside zones, inside zones. We've seen the gap schemes be effective, but you never know what the team's preparing for, and you have to have the arsenal ready. But this was certainly one of my favorite runs of the season. And then just the speed to go from that 50-yard line on, you can tell some of the linemen, they already knew. They knew before anybody else, this one's going.
Yeah, we got Allegretti working the high steps. We got Wiley running to the sideline. Like, that's pretty cool. Like a no-look three-pointer almost, right?
Yes.
Get off the field there. That's pretty cool, man. To see everybody supporting him that way.
Yeah, and that kind of speed, once you saw him in the open, like, there wasn't will he, it was going to be he's going to go.
He's going to go. He's going to go. Love it. Again, like Coach, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I love outside zone. This to me is a lot of fun. We're going to get a little bit of a Pirates son here. And these are tough, man, with the outside zone. Guys got to be really locked into combinations. And so to see these three dudes work together, you know, Ben Sinnott and Brandon Coleman, young football players. Obviously, you know, Bates has been around for a while, but working this combination to get these three guys blocked, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, for the people that are watching, like same play, different formation.
Yeah,
you know. So now that's, you know, slot working off the backside. How do you work the combinations where on the last one they stayed in a stationary spot? Where now onto this one you can see that triple, meaning 74, 87, 82, working up into the backer, all right, to get, you know, these four onto those four, however you want to play it out. And that's another, you know, really good combination of guys working zone together.
And like you said, like when you get those that level of like just time on task, and then the back doing what he does best, getting into space untouched to the next level, like that's an exciting thing to watch from a run blocking standpoint.
Yeah, and it makes all the other things come to life with play actions and where do you go. If people are going to start now trying to get downhill, then you can rip some play passes off it. Which
is fantastic. And again, Coach, you talked about this when we were doing the Q&A, man. This is one of the coolest plays of the year, man. Just the setup, we're going to get a little motion across, we're going to fake the pitch to this side. These linebackers are going to kind of work with the motion. And then we get big-time athletes working in space. And I'm not talking about Debo. I'm talking about the offensive lineman here, man. A little bit of fancy footwork to get to the next level and just spring this screen.
Yeah, and because of the run action,
Yeah.
you can see guys to go. And I thought these are critical blocks by the offensive linemen. So for Biotic, for Connerly to get down and then to seal, to kick out, that's the space that Debo needed to go and hit it. And then you see the Jets get turned on right there at about the 42-yard line, man, and he was rolling.
Yeah, rolling. And then, Coach, like the thing that I love most about him, and you talked about this too, is there is a competitive violence that he brings,
Yes.
which is excellent to see in moments like this.
Yeah, he is one of our very best competitors, and of all the runs and plays that he's made this year, and there's been a lot of them, this was perhaps my favorite because I thought it so demonstrated who he is as a ball player and as a competitor. And so it was my favorite Debo play, even though it didn't score.
Yeah.
It'll go down as one of my favorite Debo plays of 2025. Yeah,
dude. I mean, it's got to be one of my favorites. Also, it's just a cool play, physical, violent, offensive line doing that thing. And here, Debo, man, was on full display. Got to run this reverse here, going this way. And you talk about offensive line, you talk about receivers. Terry with a great block here. Guys working downfield, like. This is awesome ball, man, in terms of running the football, getting after it. And I almost didn't mention my guy, Ben Sinnott here, doing a lot of work here on the safety here.
Yeah, because at the end, this ended up being a 2-by-2 play. They came back to a 2-by-2, so just the movements, the going. But that's the play style, Logan, when you hear us talk about that term and attitude. So 82 in space, 72 in space, even the runner, working off a handoff to try to get down the field to block the middle field safety into this space. And then again, man, that's the attitude that we love to see of working blocks down the field.
Coach, man, it's so much fun. I can't wait to watch you guys play Philadelphia today. It's going to be awesome.
All right, let's get it, Logan.
Shout out to Coach and Logan for breaking it down in film study. Now, as they make their way back, let's get into our winning numbers brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And these winning numbers are from our rookie 7th-round pick, running back Bill Crosky-Merritt. Now, Dollar Bill led the way for our running backs with 11 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Crosky-Merritt powered through and carried some Cowboys on the way to the end zone on his first touchdown of the game. This was the second game of his career with multiple touchdown runs and his 8th touchdown of the season. Now, let's take a look at more of our upcoming competition. It's time for a competitive edge brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. And here's a look at some of the numbers from Washington and their upcoming competition. Washington enters Week 17 coming off of a 30-23 loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Day. Now the Commanders will travel to Philly for the first time since the 2024 NFC Championship to face off against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Now the Eagles are coming off a Week 17 win against the Buffalo Bills and are hoping to secure the number 2 spot in the NFC with the win and some help. The Commanders will look to play spoiler against a divisional rival and finish strong at the last game of the year. That's crazy to say. Now, we do got to go to break, but be sure to stick around, Commanders family, because when we come back, Coach, Logan, and I will be back to count down the kickoff and talk more about this Week 18 matchup. All that and more right after this break. Welcome back into the Game Plan with head coach Dan Quinn, sponsored by Salisbury University Seagulls in support of alumnus Dan Quinn. It is time for your must-watch moment presented by Marsh McLennan Agency. And this week's must-watch moment is Bill Crosky-Merritt's 2nd touchdown of the game against Dallas on Christmas Day. Now, Bill took off on a 72-yard touchdown run to cut the Cowboys' lead to a 1-score game. This was not only Crosky-Merritt's longest run of his career, but the longest run of the season for Washington. Big-time play for a big-time player. Shout out to Dollar Bill. Now it's time for our countdown to kickoff, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek. Coach, it's crazy to say this, but this is our final game of the season. What has been your message to the guys in that locker room? Because we know there's a lot of emotion that comes with those final games and something ending.
Yeah, there's a lot of fight in our group, and a football brotherhood is so unique. They're so close, so tight and connected, and so having that winning locker room feel against a division team that's a rival, and so knowing they'll put everything they can into that performance, and we only get 17 of them that are guaranteed. And so you want to make sure, man, like when you look back at that tape, there's no except fors or what had happened was like this is how it went down, and this is how we played. And so we're really excited, man.
Coach, I mean, you talking about how there's only 17 of them. Like for you, there's been a lot. Does it still kind of carry some of that, like a raw emotion to it? You still get up
Absolutely.
For it every
there's no doubt. And especially like having these division games here at the end, it's awesome, man. And for new players getting to play somebody a second time, like that's the first experience that they've had doing that. They, I was talking to Josh Connerly about it, like the Giants twice, the Cowboys twice, and now here you're going to be the Eagles twice. And so what did we do the first game? How'd you play them? And so learning that whole dynamic is cool. And for the players, like staying in the pocket of now.
So I got one more. We have one more?
Man.
So we got Bobby Wagner. He's 5 away. Like,
Yes.
is that something you've talked with him
crazy,
about?
man.
Or
yeah.
is that?
Well, I said last week, we didn't have to wait 2 weeks. He could get it all in at one time. But it's remarkable. I talked to London about it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just to know, like, that's rare air
Yeah.
of that type of tackling. And he's the best tackler, that I've ever coached. He's the one that I look to about what excellence looks like at tackling. And I can't wait to see that, and knowing that, man, he's part of like a club that only 2 others have been a part of.
Coach, like you said, rare air. That's Hall of Fame air right there. Those other 2 guys in Ray Lewis and London Fletcher. And Coach, in closing, we've seen our fans show up and show out each and every road trip. Me and Logan are there as well. It's kind of sad that this is our last one of the season. For the last time, Coach, can you give a message to the best fans in the NFL on why they need to get loud and show up for our Commanders?
Well, I would say one of the best parts about being on the road is you feel like it's you against everybody. And so when we have our fans there, it's so easy to see us where we are in any stadium.
Yeah.
And man, it just makes your heart smile walking through that tunnel. Hey, Coach, there we go. And like you feel that energy and support about it. And I think that's what makes our organization unique and different, is the long history of generations of football fans. Man, it's really cool. And like it is never lost on us.
It's never lost on any of us here, Coach. We appreciate your time. Happy New Year, Commanders family. This has been the Game Plan with head coach Dan Quinn, Logan Paulsen. I'm your host, Bryan Colbert Jr. And we'll see y'all tonight in Philly, baby.
The Game Plan, sponsored by Salisbury University, was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.